Welcome to This Day in His Story, created by American Heritage Worldwide, a reminder that every day holds something new to learn. Did you know that in 1892, James Naismith published 13 rules for the game of basketball, and that 12 of these rules are still in use today? Join a team to play a game that doesn't require much space, is not too rough, and can be played both indoors and outdoors. But most importantly, learn that basketball doesn't just build character, it reveals it.
Today we are strapping in for the definitive origin story of a global phenomenon.
We really are.
We're talking about basketball, a sport played by, hundreds of millions, watched by billions.
And the salaries are just mind-boggling.
Completely.
Yeah.
But if you look at the source material we've got, the sport's entire foundation really just rests on a historical blueprint. 13 simple rules.
And that blueprint is the mission for our deep dives today.
Yeah.
We're talking about James Naismith's 13 rules of basketball.
Right.
Our sources give us this just fascinating glimpse into the precise moment of invention. Naismith published these rules on January 15th, 1892.
Okay.
And here's the thing that stunned us when we first saw it. 12 of those original 13 rules are still recognizable, still used in some way in today's game.
12 out of 13. That's astonishing. That it was so fully formed right from the start.
Exactly.
But for you, our listener, you see these multi-million-dollar contracts, the high-flying dunks on TV, and you have to wonder, how did the NBA start with a couple of fruit containers?
And no dribbling.
Zero dribbling.
Yeah.
And a rule that could get you kicked out for the entire game.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's rewind to the winter of 1891.
So you have Naismith, the inventor. He's a Canadian-born physical education teacher.
Okay.
And he's working at the YMCA International Training School. That's in Springfield, Massachusetts.
And that context is so important, right?
It's everything. Because New England winters were brutal. And the students were just restless. They were tired of the same old boring drills inside.
So Naismith was basically handed a crisis assignment.
A huge one. He was told, look, come up with a game you can play inside that can handle a lot of students at once. And critically, it can't be too rough.
They were tired of all the injuries from trying to play, football indoors?
Exactly. Indoor football, rugby modifications. It was just a mess. So this specific need for a non-aggressive, contained game, that is the why behind all these rules.
His goal was just to eliminate physical contact.
Pretty much, yeah. And he figured the best way to do that was to eliminate the need for running with the ball for tackling.
And the idea for that, it didn't come from another major sport, right?
No, not at all, which is what's so fascinating. He was inspired by a schoolboy game he played back in Canada. It was called Duck on a Rock.
Duck on a rock?
Yeah. It's a precision game. You use a throwing stone to try and knock a smaller stone, the duck, off a bigger one.
So it's all about accuracy.
All about accuracy and targeting, not brute force. So Naismith just built his game around a high unreachable target.
The basket.
The basket. It forced this lobbed, arching shot instead of a straight, powered throw. And that immediately solved the safety goal. No running, no tackling, just throwing.
Which brings us to that very first attempt, the first game ever played. December 15th, 1891, and the setup was minimal.
Minimal is generous. The sources say Naismith asked the janitor for 2 boxes.
Just boxes.
Yeah, and the janitor could only find 2 old peach baskets. So he just had them nailed to the railing of the gym's balcony, about 10 feet off the floor.
And it wasn't 5-on-5 either.
No, not even close. That first game was played with 9 players on each side.
9. So 18 people crammed into a gym. That must have been pure mayhem.
Absolute mayhem. Especially because you couldn't really move.
Right, because of the rules.
Exactly. The most critical limitation was in Rule 3. A player cannot run with the ball, period.
So the ball only moves if you pass it.
That's it. It just moved up and down the court through passes between stationary players.
So, wait. The one single thing that defines basketball today, the dribble, it just didn't exist.
It didn't exist. And neither did the free throw. The game was basically catch, pivot, and launch it towards the peach basket.
So it was all about passing.
The ball was a medium for passing, not a tool for a solo attack. It took 4 years, until 1895, for the idea of sort of batting the ball while moving to evolve into the dribble.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, though. Let's dive into the specifics of those 13 rules from 1892. Because this is where you see the genius, but also how desperately he was trying to stop fights from breaking out.
Well, let's look at Rule 3 again. The strictness is it's eye-opening.
Eh.
You have to throw the ball from the spot where you catch it. You are rooted to the floor.
There was a little bit of wiggle room.
A tiny bit. He made an allowance for someone catching the ball while running at full speed if they could manage to stop. But even that just shows he understood momentum. He wasn't trying to make it impossible.
And how you handled the ball, that was also super strict.
Oh, yeah. Rules 2 and 4 are all about stopping the game from turning into boxing. You can throw it with one or both hands, but never with your fist.
Never with the fists.
And Rule 4 says the ball has to be held in or between your hands. You can't use your arms or body to hold it. No trapping it against your chest and running.
All of this was just designed to eliminate contact.
A laser focus on it. Which leads right to the punishments in Rule 5. No shouldering, holding, pushing, tripping, or striking.
Okay, I have to pause on the punishment because this part feels the most foreign to the modern game.
It was, let's say it was draconian. The first foul was just a foul. A warning.
But the second one?
The second one, you were disqualified. Out of the game until the next goal was made.
Wait, until the next goal. So if nobody scored for 5 minutes, you were out for 5 minutes.
You got it. And that seems like an incentive for the other team to just not score, just to keep your guy off the court.
It totally does. But what if it was a really bad foul?
If there was, and this is the quote, evident intent to injure, that player was gone for the whole game. No substitute allowed.
So your team is just shorthanded for the rest of the game.
Exactly. This extreme penalty was necessary because these players were used to rugby and football. He had to break those habits immediately.
Which brings us to what you called the magnificent equalizer.
Rule 7, the penalty goal. If one side commits 3 consecutive fouls without the other team fouling in between,
it's a point for the other team.
It automatically counts as a goal for the opposition.
That is fascinating. Doesn't it chip in the actual act of scoring?
You'd think so, but its presence shows how serious Naismith was about stopping cheap fouls. It was a tactical deterrent. It forced you to play clean.
Okay, and what about actually scoring a goal? That sounds like it was a mess, too.
It was definitely messy. Rule 8. A goal is made when the ball is thrown or batted from the ground into the basket and stays there.
Stays there, so someone had to get it out.
Every single time. The game literally stopped. Someone had to get on a ladder or use a long pole to poke the ball out of the basket.
And you couldn't mess with the basket itself.
No, Rule 8 was explicit. Defenders could not touch or disturb the goal. If the ball was resting on the rim and a defender shook the basket to knock it out, it counted as a goal.
He thought of everything. What about out of bounds?
Rule 9. The first person to touch the ball gets to throw it in. And they only had 5 seconds.
5 seconds, so no stalling.
He was actively discouraging stalling.
Yeah.
If you took too long, the ball just went to the opponent.
It's remarkable how he anticipated disputes. What about the officials?
That's Rules 10 and 11. And he split the authority, which is really smart. He had an umpire and a referee.
2 different jobs.
Totally different. The umpire was the judge of the men. Their only job was to watch the players. They called the fouls, they told the referee about the 3-foul penalty goal, and they disqualified players.
So the umpire was the enforcer.
Exactly. The referee, on the other hand, was the judge of the ball.
Okay.
They decided when the ball was in play, when it was out of bounds, who it belonged to, they kept the time, and they decided when a goal was actually scored.
A real division of labor.
Yeah, it shows he understood that for arbitration to work, it needed structure.
And the game itself, the timing, it was short.
Very short.
Mm-hmm.
2 15-minute halves.
That's it?
With a 5-minute rest in between. Winner is the side with the most goals. And if there was a draw, the captains could agree to just keep playing until someone scored. The original sudden death.
So simple. It's just incredible how that rule set was resilient enough to survive all this time.
Yeah.
And it helped the game just explode.
It really did. Naismith himself, he moved to Lawrence, Kansas in 1898. He became a professor and the very first basketball coach at the University of Kansas.
He took his invention with him.
And the colleges just ate it up. It was the perfect indoor sport they all needed.
And the momentum from that was just unstoppable.
Completely. I mean, by the 1920s, only 30 years after he invented it, there were hundreds of professional teams in the U.S. The game was spreading virally.
And then it just kept growing.
He went international, became an Olympic sport in 1936, and then 1946, the foundation for the modern giant was laid. The Basketball Association of America was formed.
Which became the NBA.
Which became the NBA.
And there's this great little detail in the sources, this human detail, that Naismith and his wife even played basketball together.
Yeah, it wasn't just some academic exercise for him. He loved the game. He shared it.
So let's step back for a second. We started with 18 players, 2 peach baskets, and rules designed to stop people from fighting in 1891.
Right.
Now let's contrast that with the massive enterprise it's become.
I mean, if you look at the financial scale of the modern NBA, it's staggering. It's a multi-billion-dollar operation built on that simple design.
Give us some perspective on the money.
Okay, well, the team salary cap for the 2021-22 season was $112.4 million.
For one team.
For one team. And the average player salary back then was already $7.5 million.
It's just hard to even fathom that kind of value.
And we have the latest numbers, too. Looking at the projected salaries for 2024-2025, I mean, you've got Stephen Curry at the top.
How much?
$55.8 million.
For 1 year.
For 1 year.
Yeah.
And right behind him, Kevin Durant at $49.9 million, LeBron James at $48.7 million.
That is the financial reality of a game born from a professor's need to keep students busy in the winter.
It's just a profound journey. From a gym floor in Massachusetts to a global multi-billion-dollar spectacle. And those original rules, they proved so resilient.
Because they force skill over brute force.
They forced movement, cooperation, and skill. And that created a game that 130 years later still thrives on that same simple framework.
So as we wrap this up, the lesson here, it isn't just about sports history, is it? It's about innovation.
And power of constraints.
Exactly. Naismith was given these constraints. Keep it indoors, keep it safe, make it engaging. And the system he designed, those 13 rules, it didn't just solve his problem. It was robust enough to handle globalization and billions of dollars.
He built an elegant, simple system, not a complex machine.
Yeah. And the sources really emphasize this idea of just doing your best when you're faced with a challenge. One quote from the source material really sticks with you from 2 Timothy. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith.
It's a powerful sentiment.
It is. And it makes you wonder, I mean, for you listening, what choices do you make every day to keep the faith in what you're building?
A great question to end on.
Thank you for joining us for this day in His story. May the lessons of yesterday inspire you to see God's hand today and to play your part in His story now. For more faith-based learning, visit ahsworldwide.org, the homeschool for faith and family.